If you can hear any weird background noise, it's because the 3D printer is on right now, and I can't help you with that because this print is like a 36-hour print, and I'm not turning it off. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a singular Halloween video for you. I intended to have others, but then didn't finish those projects or forgot to film some projects and got halfway through the month before I even felt the, you know, Halloween spirit take over me, you know what I mean? So, that being said, let's make a costume. If you have ever watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Spellman, is that what it's called? The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Yes. The basically reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. You may know what dress I'm talking about, but this, the infamous red dress from, I believe, season 1 or part 1. I don't remember. It's been a hot minute since it came out, and I have not like rewatched it. I absolutely loved that dress, and I've always kind of wanted to make it. And then I was thinking of like a Halloween costume that I could make this year, and I was like, you know what I could do? You know what I have? A remnant of some red fabric, and I have like just enough where I could probably make this dress. And so I did a little, you know, drawing while I was at work and kind of figured out a pattern that'll probably work and be able to use the probably maybe meter of fabric that I have at my disposal, because I thought I had more red fabric. Turns out it's all velvet. I have like a bunch of red fabric and it's all velvet. Or it's like sheer fabric. And so we're working with this sheet. And I believe like some of the remnants of this is what I made my friend's Hwa-Chang cosplay with. So like this fabric has been through it. This fabric has been many things. You'll also probably notice that this lace has blue on it, and that I'm probably going to rectify with like a Sharpie, or most of this top bit of the lace is going to be encased into the seam because she's got like the lace collar and the lace cuffs. And I bought this lace in a pack of like the Value Village packs of variety craft stuff because I swear by those things. Because this pack of buttons is $3.99 and it has an absolute crazy amount of buttons, and I've taken out like belt buckles from it, a bunch of other button packs and things like that. So this is half of the buttons that used to be in this bag. And so really worth it. Completely sidetracked. I also bought a hairband, and then I don't need to buy a wig or anything like that because I have a lace front, like platinum blonde, almost white blonde wig that I used to use when I cosplayed Android 16.
I proceed to talk about the wig for like literally a minute and a half.
Anyways, I digress. Let's put this fabric on my dress form. So I have these remnant pieces from my stash, and that's what we're going to use to quickly make a slight pattern. I'm not going to really worry too much about this. If you don't have a dress form, you can do this either on yourself, or you can take articles of clothing of similar shape to what you want to make. I just happened to have a dress form because there was one at the thrift store for $26, and I never bought something so fast. I did scare a small child walking around the store gripping this dress form, and like a child started walking down the same hallway as me, and I'm walking this way, and the child screamed and ran. So I hope you enjoy that little tidbit. But let's turn our attention to Nancy, fellas.
I love filming and standing directly in front of what I am attempting to film. Don't worry. Anyways, I put a sheet on my dress form. Then I took a Sharpie and scissors and a bevy of pins, and I kind of just roughly sketched out the shape that I wanted the dress to be in. It was a lot of just kind of messing around, and I have so many years of patterning experience that it's just really easy for me to do. I just messed around until I got a shape that I liked, and I kept a picture of what I was making and just kind of went along with that. And yeah, there you have it. Neck hole, armhole, shoulder seams, side seams. Easy. It was essentially a tube with shaped sides. That's really all I did. It was quite easy. Yeah, there you go. Ta-da! Then I took those really rough shapes and smoothed out the sides, made sure everything worked on another pillowcase, because I am all about recycling here. I will always use the chance to make other things. You can see me here deciding and realizing that this pattern piece that I was working with was not going to fit on the fabric, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna have to make it a little bit smaller so that way it'll actually all fit onto the fabric, because I have very limited fabric. I did make it a little longer than initially what I had sketched out on my dress form, and I should have made it even longer than that because it did end up being kind of short. But it's okay, it works, it covers everything it needs to cover, but it is a little short in the back because I am in possession of a booty.
So I am going to use the secondary method that I use to pattern a lot instead of my dress form, and I'm going to use clothes that I already have. And you could use this to pattern the rest of the costume, but for a sleeve, I'm going to do this. And I'm just laying out the sleeve onto double fold fabric, and then I'm gonna trace around it, and then that's how we're doing the sleeve. So yeah.
This shirt that I'm using is one that fits me nice and loosely, and I use it as a sleeve pattern actually a lot.
So instead of tracing the actual curve that the sleeve fits into my shirt, this is kind of how a sleeve curve is, and then this is on the center fold, so I'm gonna cut it out, and then you'll see that it's like a sleeve. So then here is the sleeve pattern. The table is white, so I didn't want it to be against a white backdrop, but yeah, that's kind of my sleeve pattern. And then I'm gonna pin this onto my dress form, make sure that it all works, and then I'm going to cut it all out of my fabric. My goal, wow, this is like not straight. There we go. Well, I'm not straight either, so anyways, my goal is to make this dress today, and I usually don't reach my goals, but it's 6 o'clock, we have a pattern. I'm not gonna make it super fancy, so I could see myself being done with this in the next hour and a half. That's definitely the goal.
I didn't keep to that goal. Anyways, here I pinned together the pieces of the pattern, and I'm gonna put it back on my dress form to make sure that it all fits.
And there we have it. We've got the pattern already. There is going to be a little bit more give here because I'm going to make a placket, button placket, but I just didn't bother doing that. It is got a little bit of room on it because, again, the dress form is a little smaller than I am, so there is that. The sleeve fits nicely, and then the back also fits nicely. So we can move on to cutting out of the fabric. One thing I may end up doing for finalizing the fit of this is adding darts under the bust or at the back once I've made the dress and put together the whole thing, so you know I made it. Because I didn't bother doing it on the mock-up because I knew I wasn't gonna, well, not even the mock-up, this is this is barely considered a mock-up, guys. I have a tendency to do this with my patterns, to just kind of go, it'll fit. If it's not a project that I'm like super concerned about it being as accurate as possible. But I'm probably going to make some darts in the final dress. But that's going to be just to kind of finalize the fit once it's on my actual body. And I might not even do that, but yeah, just thought I would throw that out there, even though I'm probably gonna show me doing that later. Anyways, yeah.
So before I cut out any of the pattern pieces, I went through and ironed my fabric because it was really wrinkly, and I always suggest you do that for your fabric. Don't cut on wrinkly, gross fabric. Iron out your fabric, please. Now that the fabric is all nice and smooth, and I'm gonna get really nice cuts on it because wrinkly fabric is gonna create bad pattern pieces, or like bad pieces, I laid out my pattern pieces on top of my fabric, and then I'm gonna cut it all out.
Okay, so I am really good at piecing things together. This is all I have left after cutting everything out. This was a secondary piece that I have that I'm gonna use to cut out the placket because it's like literally just wide enough to cut out a placket. It's 100% cotton. Can you tell that I can't keep a thought straight to save my life? Oh my god, that sentence. Oh, sorry about the little object eye horror there. I also want everyone to know that, like, while I am making this dress, I am watching a YouTube channel called The History Squad, and it is like this, like, 75, 80-year-old British man who goes around talking about, like, famous British battles in Europe, and, like, specifically medieval battles, and then goes around to like medieval castles and then just like excitedly talks about them. And I love watching his videos. He's fantastic. Just, he gives incredible grandpa vibes. I love him. So yeah.
All right, lads, enough gushing. It's time for sewing. Sewing montage. Sewing montage.
So I did a little zigzag stitch along the raw edge of the seam, so that way it doesn't just fray apart, because this fabric is just cotton, so it likes to fray really easily. And this is my cheater's way of not using my overlock machine because it terrifies me. And I will be doing this kind of seam to all of the raw edges within this dress. But
And now for the true horrors this season. Cutting a straight line without measuring anything. Anyways, this is how I made the button placket. Button placket. I speak English, I swear. I really, really do. Anyways, yeah, I never measured anything for the entirety of this dress. I just kind of, it was vibes. Vibes and vibes alone. You sew for 17 years and you just start deciding to do things. Actually, never mind. I always do this. Anyways, button placket. Oh, and we sewing again, boys. We sewing again, lads. More sewing. I'm pretty sure this is the side seams and the shoulder seams of the dress. I'm not sure. I sewed up all of the seams, so this may actually be the seams for me sewing on the button placket. I actually don't know. So Okay, yeah, I was working on the button placket. This also, to tell you that I did actually iron down all of my seams, but here I am ironing down the seam, and then I'm gonna fold over that button placket with the sewn down edge, well, the strip of fabric, and then I'm gonna fold that over, and I'm gonna iron it down, and then I'm gonna top stitch it later. You know, watching yourself do a project is such an interesting because I have such extreme concentration face going on when I sew, and I never realized that, and now I'm watching it back, and you can see in the way I'm like pressed my lips together so tightly, and the concentration on my face. It's a little funny. So now I'm going to iron down the hem that I just did at the bottom of the skirt. And because the skirt's very short, I did a very small rolled hem on the bottom because I did not want to show too much. I am ironing down all of the hems that I did. So this one's for the collar.
Kind of over this. Okay, so what is there left to do? Here, move the scissors. So I have hemmed the top, I've hemmed the sleeves, and I hemmed the bottom. I've got the like placket part on. I don't actually know how much I actually filmed of the process of me doing that, but it's fine. I zigzag stitched all of the raw edges so that way they don't fray apart, and it makes this dress semi-professionally done. This is not like my best work, but it's fine for little projects. If I was really feeling fancy and I had more fabric, I would have French seamed the whole thing, but I just did not have that much fabric. As it is, this used everything that I had, and it's a little short. It's a little shorter than like her actual dress, I think, but if anyone comes to fight me on that, they can catch these hands. They're rated E for everyone after all, so. The last thing to do is, ow! I forgot that the pin is what is keeping this lace together. That was not ideal. The last thing I need to do is add the lace to the collar and the sleeve cuffs, and do the buttonholes on the front, add the buttons, and then sew up the bottom half. Oh god. So, I forgot I needed to charge my phone, and in the middle of whatever I was talking about, my phone just shut off. And so I tried to turn it back on to complete whatever I was meaning to say, which I don't remember what I was meaning to say. I grabbed my charger and like charged my phone, and it was too dead to record anything more. So I put the buttonholes in. I went through my button stash and I found the... Turns out if you put something in your hand and you tilt your hand, they fall out. Anyways, buttons, they're like this weird pink toned brown, because I have burgundy red buttons, but they're really tiny and her buttons are a little bit bigger. So as long as I attach these with some red thread, it's gonna give them like the vibe. They also do look nice up against the fabric. Wow, there we go. Haha. I could film that so much better, but we're not doing that right now because it is... What time is it? It is now 9 o'clock. Every time I have to do this whilst being observed, I can't get it in the hole. Because I'm threading a button. Actually, no, I'm struggling. Man, the last three I did fine, and then I turn on the gosh darn camera. God dang it. Oh my gosh, I did it, guys. old person. Anyways, now that I'm sitting, this set looks a little silly. Final thoughts on the costume. I am gonna add darts. I just forgot to, and so it's kind of pinned at the back. I don't have to add darts. The fit is fine, I guess, without it, but I want a more emphasis on my waist because I have a tiny waist. So it's more of a vanity issue than anything else. The skirt is quite short. I'm really happy that this has tights, because if I bend over, you see all the way to Alaska, if you know what I mean. And considering she's supposed to be 16, I can't exactly go around flashing everyone my cheeks. You know what I mean? It's just massively inappropriate. This light is gonna, yep, the battery is dead. So, no fun red lighting. Wow, this looks so much sadder without the fun red lighting. Well, that doesn't add any, thing really, but it's fine. Anyways, I really like the dress. I like the way that I look in red. I am gonna have to curl the rest of this wig. I curled enough of it so that way for like a selfie level shot, it'll be fine. I'm probably gonna bring this costume with me to KomoriCon. And wear it to KomoriCon. So yeah, but for a dress that took me like 4 hours to make and took very little thought, it's cute. I like it. This has been a cosplay that's been on the back burner for like 5 years, I realize. I planned to make this costume back in like probably 2019. It's 2024. My perception of time because of the pandemic, it just doesn't exist. I was talking to my roommate. I was like, yeah, you know, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, that like came out in like what, 2020, right? And so like it ended recently. And she was like, no, it came out in 2018. This show ended in like 2020. I have no good perception of time anymore. I don't know. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. And if you end up wanting to do your own little Sabrina Spellman dress, let me know. I want to see it. Tag me. I want to see it. If this helped you at all in constructing anything, I'm glad, because I don't think I was very concise in a lot of this, because I was tired, man. I had so yeah. Thank you for watching. If you're actually still here at this part of the video, bazinga. And if that doesn't give you ultimate cringe, nothing else will. Nothing else will. So, sayonara. The next time you see a video from me, it's probably gonna be the KomoriCon vlog. I don't know. We'll see. Just princess wave it out. Princess wave it out. Bye. Bye. And now I've got to take this set down. Like, there's stuff. This is my bedroom. There's stuff that's supposed to go against this wall. I have shit hanging from my ceiling now. The set looks really pretty though. Anyways, rawr. XD. That's how a dinosaur says I love you.